Studio G2. We are broadcasting, and today we are going to look at Module 1, Lesson 3. And this, what we got to do, we're going to divide these numbers to find the standard form. So we're going to write the answers right in standard form. My name is Clark. My last name is Kent, my friend, so you figure it out. Okay, so let's write this down. So we are dividing. Usually when I tell my students when we are dividing, the numbers become smaller. They decrease in value. So let's say that we are, here's where the decimal point is on your number line, on your place value chart. This is the best friend of my students because it helps them immensely. So now we have 5,000. That will be 5,300. So that is our number. So now another thing we have to look at is, amigos, is that this number, it's equal to 10 times 10. And when you multiply that, equals 100. It's very important to know that right there. Here's the reason why. When we are going to divide, that means every time every number on the place value chart is going to move to the right. So let's look at, for example, at the 5,000, at the number 5. The value is 5,000, so you see 2 tens, right? So every time you move to the right, that's 110. That was divided by 10. Now that's another 10, so that's 100. So the number 5 is going to end up right here in this value. So now it's a 510, no longer a 5,000, because 5,000 divided by 100 yields an answer of 5. We are going to repeat the procedure with the number 3. So you have divided by 100, which is divided by 10 and divided by 10. Now you write that 300 into the 3 ones. And all the other zeros, it's the same thing, but it's going to yield a number of 53. Now, this number, as you can see, can easily be written like this and solved this way. 50,000, listen to me. 5,300 divided by 100. In this case, my friend, it's easy to see that if you divide this, you are eliminating the zeros, so your answer is 53. Now, let's look at a number that is a little more complex because it's decimals. It has decimals. So we're going to write the number. Let's define where the decimal is. So let's decide that the decimal is going to be right here. So this is 6 and 72 thousandths. Obviously, as you know now, because we're going to divide, every time we divide and we use the place value chart, the numbers shift to the right of the decimal. Or not necessarily to the decimal, but they shift to the right. In the past, people used to move the decimal point. Now the way we're learning is just we move the numbers. It's easy. It's the same thing, my friends. So let me model that for you. So now, as you can see, this number is the base is 10, but it's telling us that it's to the power of 3, which means that is 10 times 10 times 10, which means at the same time that equals 1,000. Now, I want you to pay attention to the patterns, my friend. This one says 10 to the power of 3. So that means you have 3 tens, 3 zeros. And when you make that into the standard form, the answer should be 1,000. And it makes sense. Look, 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros, and to the power of 3. That is easy, my friends. Just remember that. All right, now this one says that we're going to move each number to the right 3 times. Why? Because we have 3 tens. So this is 110, 110, 2 tens, 3 tens. So now the number is 1,000 times smaller. So it's no longer 6 ones. It's now less than 1. It's in the thousandths place. We're going to proceed with the same way with the 0. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. So the 0 ends right here. Are you following? I hope you're following, my friends. This is not an difficult thing. Now we're going to look at the 7. It's going to be divided 1,000 times. So when you divide the 7 into 1,000 times, this is 10 times and 10 times and 10 times. That's 1,000 times. And the last number is the 2. So now we're going to do the same thing. The 2 is going to be divided 10 times, 10 times, 10 times. And you're going to say again, why 10 times 3 times? Because of these, my friends. Look at this. All of these are clues that tell you when you divide that number by 1,000, it moves 3 spaces to the right of the place value chart. So now you would say, my students say, Mr. Magno, what happens to the, I'm sorry, they call me Clark Kent. Mr. Clark, what do we do with the empty spaces? And I said, well, every time you have empty spaces between a decimal point and any number, that means there are 0 tenths and 0 hundredths. So now, my friends, we know that the answer, when you divide 7 and 72 hundredths, thousandths, those are thousandths, divided by 1,000, the answer is this number. Okay? Now, notice that for this one, it's more difficult to use a strategy like this one. So it is good to know both strategies. My friends, I hope this video helps you. Please watch it a couple of times. Do these problems to see if they help you. I know they're going to help you. So get it done and become a good mathematician. My friends, signing out from Gravity 2, Mr. Kent.